happy to have it. I get to go to Sweden. If you want to tweet me at any time, please feel free to. I'm a bit of a Twitter nerd, so more than happy to chat. And so yeah, primary school teacher by trade, but I now teach all the way up to what I call big kids, year 11, with maths and things like that, because I'm that cool. Computing and maths, I tick all of the cool boxes there. So yeah, there we go. What is Scratch? So is everybody here familiar with Scratch? So I won't spend too long boring you with what it is, but obviously we all know it's block-based coding. It's used by millions of people around the world. It's used in over 150 countries according to their website. Its current version is Scratch 3, which was only released in January, which isn't very shiny and nice. I like it. Yeah, and it was created as part of MIT. And it's really exciting to me because as a teacher, we use Scratch all the time. In my primary school, we were using Scratch from year 4, maybe year 3. We use Scratch Junior with the younger ones. Recently I worked on a scheme of work. We use Scratch right through with that. It's a really popular tool. In fact, when I was working in Brazil, we were using Scratch with the teachers. So it's such a popular tool. So the fact that it interacts with the microbit was really exciting for me. So I first took a really good look at this back in January. I wanted to see how we could use the two tools together. So again, if you're not familiar with Scratch, but I think most people are, you have your actual project here. You've got your sprite, the moving thing, and you've got different coloured blocks that come together to create your project. So in this case, in fact, does anyone want to guess what this project does? Let's play a bit of a fun game because a lot of people know how to use Scratch. Can you guess what this project does? So we've got the blocks that do stuff. These are just the blocks you can select, and here is my sprite. Anyone got any idea? I'm sorry.
I go with the colours like
pen down, set pen size, set pen colour, move 100 steps, turn 90 degrees, wait 1 second, move 50 steps, turn 90 degrees, wait 1 second, and then it repeats that. Tanya thinks she knows. It draws a shape. Anyone know what shape with a 90-degree angle? Not a square? Woohoo! This is my learn how to draw a rectangle code. And the next step for this particular project is, can you make the code more efficient by adding a repeat block? You can tell I'm a primary school teacher, it's automatic. Oh dear. So this is how Scratch works anyway, in conclusion. So, important fact. The first thing I thought when I thought Scratch and microbit worked together was, yes, I can program a microbit using Scratch, that's so exciting! Does it work? Does my next bit work? No. You can't actually program the microbit using Scratch. You can program the microbit to interact with Scratch, which is slightly different. Okay, so it's not that you're writing the code for the microbit. In fact, what you're actually doing is you put a file on the microbit that allows it to communicate with your computer, which we just had to restart to get to work. Fun fact. Okay, so don't think you can just create a project using Scratch and upload it to the microbit. That's not how it works. It's slightly different. I'm having fun today, can you tell? So, in order to use Scratch with the microbit, these are the current requirements. You need a PC or a Mac. I'm hoping it'll work on a Chromebook soon. We're hoping, fingers crossed, because I'm a Chromebook nerd at times. You need Bluetooth, and you need a file called ScratchLink. This information is direct from the Scratch website. This is the page you need to go to if you want these files. So if you want to use Scratch with your microbit, you need to go to scratch.mit.edu/microbit. Okay, I can see a few people just want to take a note of that, so I'll give you a second. I know, I'm right over here and push the button again. Oh, I'm going to be fit by the end of this.
I just heard you talking about Chromebooks.
Yep.
It's currently in alpha. So they are testing it right now on Chromebooks. I got it on my Chromebook. It works fine with microbits. So
ooh, that's
in the pipeline.
exciting. So I bought my Chromebook with me forgetting it didn't work, and then had to say to my other half, can I buy your MacBook tomorrow? Which is why it's not my setup and I'm getting a bit antsy. My fault entirely, I just completely forgot running out the door. Turns out when you have a baby, it becomes harder to leave the house. Who knew? So these are the steps. The first thing you need to do is install ScratchLink. I obviously did it on a Mac, so you have two choices, download from the App Store or direct download. And then you get this lovely little icon once it's open, so you know Scratch Link is working. Happy days, she says, when it didn't work when she was here. Next step is you download the hex file. We're all familiar with hex files, presumably. Microbit, you download the hex file on. So you download the special hex file that allows it to work together. Really simple. Drag and drop it onto the microbit like you would any other file, and that will mean that across the screen of your microbit, across the LEDs, it will scroll a little code that allows you to identify the microbit. And that's really valuable. Let's say you've got an interesting noise coming from the back of the room. Let's say you've got a class of microbits. If they've got the code, you know which one's the one that you want to connect to. So mine says G, V, X, whatever it is, and I can make sure I connect to the right one. When you go into Scratch now, you've got the option to put loads of add-ons. So you need to load the microbit one, and that will search. So in fact, I think I've got it on the next slide. Yeah. So you select the microbit add-on. It will say looking for devices, and you select your one with your special code, and I'm getting feedback if I stand there, so I'm going to keep moving. So in the case of the one I had at home that I left on the sofa, my code was GOTIV. This one has a slightly different code, who knew? And then you can select it. Now, if by chance you come back to the project and you're thinking, why is it not connecting automatically to my microbit? You have to go back to the add-on, click on the add-on, load it up, and it'll bring you back to this menu, even if you've already got the add-on appearing in your Scratch window. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. Talking very, very quickly. So here's an example of the code that I wrote. Very, very simple. You can see all the different blocks you've got that relate to microbit here. So you've got the buttons. You can do when A button pressed, when B button pressed, when A and B button pressed. You've got conditional, so if you want to use an if A button pressed, do this. You've got when moved, when tilted, when shaken, shook. You can display this, like when you're using the microbit blocks editor, you can choose certain pictures, certain images. You've got that option, you've got text. So you can do all of them in Scratch, but you're writing the program to connect via Bluetooth with the microbit as opposed to writing the program to copy onto the microbit. Slightly different. So you can do plenty of blocks. I've written a simple code: when tilted left, move that way. When tilted right, move that way. And then when A button pressed, I spent a bit of time working out how to do some gravity. So this is a little program I wrote, which I'm about to demonstrate for you. We hope that it works. This is my bear game, and it's ridiculous. This was, what can I do with a microbit? I know, program a bear that jumps over things, obviously. So I'm going to hopefully do a live demo, and this is where we see whether or not I failed at life. So, and I'm going to see if anyone wants to have a go at this as well, just because it would be hilarious. Okay, so very, very simple. I tilt my microbit to make the bear go a little bit faster, and then I need him to explode trees by pressing the B button, obviously. He's going a little bit too fast, so I want him to slow down. Then I can jump over these bushes. Yeah, the gravity wasn't quite right. I think I took this into a school once, and a kid managed about 2 minutes, and I'm not great at that. So does anyone want to have a go at the microbit bear game? Because it's ridiculous. I've got no one's. Josh, come and have a go. You knew I was going to pick on you.
Forever now.
Yeah. And then I will take questions. Oh, look, the bear's still moving. So you can tilt him backwards and forwards to speed him up.
Yeah.
That button makes him jump, and that button shoots the trees.
Right, okay.
Let's see if Josh can get further than me.
I'm going to fail instantly, aren't I?
Probably. Okay, so shoot the tree with B. You have to be really prepared for the jumping over bushes because you need a lot of build up. Yeah. So I'll let you have another go because, as you can tell, the gravity's not quite right. I've definitely opened a can of worms with this, haven't I? See, I think it's 2 minutes you've got to beat by a 10-year-old. He's already beaten my time, so. You have no idea how long this took me to write as well. And you can tell that Josh is of the young gamer generation.
Yeah.
Kat, you have 3 minutes left, so maybe you could take
Yep.
questions.
Okay, well, there we go. Okay, so do I have any questions about this?
I've got a question. So, have you taken Scratch into primary schools yet with microbit?
Not yet. That's on my next to-do list. In fact, I'm going into school on Monday to talk about how we can do this. Any other questions? Yeah. No, I haven't. I'd be quite interested to look at them.
Can you repeat the question?
Scratch cards with microbit. Are they on the Scratch website or microbit website?
Yes. So the Scratch cards, which I think some people got.
We might have failed to give Kat a goodie bag.
Yeah. You need to get a goodie bag. Yeah. They've got some Scratch cards in, so you definitely need a set of those. They are downloadable on our website at the moment, and also when our website is revamped later this year, we're going to have some Scratch projects, some new
Ooh.
Scratch projects in there as well.
That's pretty exciting. Anything else?
The Bluetooth connections, are there some issues?
We had a brief problem when I first tried to connect.
Okay.
We restarted the computer and it seemed to be fine. We're not sure if that's because the computer needed to be in admin mode or just needed a restart. I blame the Mac.
Probably my old computer, but yeah, there's a possibility that the Scratch links to work. You have to be an admin, but someone with more
Okay.
experience with this may know for sure.
It might just need a restart.
I think it's probably not the case.
Probably not, given that it's aimed at education. So.
Josh?
Yes. If you're in a classroom of like say 20 people
Mhm.
and you've got microbit with Bluetooth, is there a way to tell which one's which?
So that's the scrolling message across it tells you what letters are. So when you select from that list, it'll say these are the microbits within range with the Scratch link file. And pick the one that's yours, which I think is brilliant because
Yeah.
trying that with Bebots, I found you can't tell which one's connected to which iPad, and it's a nightmare, and all the kids are controlling the wrong one. So.
Maybe one more question?
Say.
Curious about your opinion on like doing it with Scratch compared to MakeCode, like pros and cons of either. I'm not particularly, just your opinion on the differences or why you would use one over the other. I know they do different things.
Yeah, I mean, I think the pro of using Scratch is it's obviously an environment children are familiar with because we're using it from quite early on. This bear keeps moving, I've only just noticed, sorry. Broken by the bear. Yeah, so it's obviously really helpful that they're familiar with it, but obviously seeing different programming environments is valuable, and I would say that the fact that you can transfer the code onto the microbit when you're using MakeCode means that gives it an advantage in a different way. So it just depends what you want to achieve. I think it's a nice stepping stone being able to use Scratch and interact with physical computing. Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. I think the sneaky bear might actually be the best way to end a talk. Seen in a long time.
Just leave that up.
So yeah. So next, in about 10 minutes, in exactly 10 minutes, we've got Warris from the Microbit Foundation talking about collaborate to innovate with microbit in schools. Thanks very much again, Kat.
Sorry about the ridiculous bear.
I think it's the difference between the menacing motion of the bear and the completely friendly face.